This is CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Today, it's Thursday, so of course it's time to dish on Madison's food and bar scene. It's been a heavy week in the city, and now we're revisiting one of our shows from earlier this year about some of the best places for a community to gather. Our coffee shops. Whether it's meeting up with a friend to check in or being in a space that reminds you that you're not alone, Madison coffee shops play an important role in our city. With no further ado, I'm here with the CityCast Madison team. Rob Thomas, what's brewing?
Oh, I'm ready for coffee talk.
Me too, coffee talk. And Jade Iseri-Ramos, our former barista on the team. Are you energized for this chat?
I put on my coffee shop hat. I'm ready to go.
Y'all, I'm foaming at the lid of my coffee cup to get into our coffee spots in Madison. There's going to be a rich dark roast chat. Let's jump in. We're going to set up this roundup scheme in a minute. But first, how and when and where did you consume your coffee today, team? Down to earth. This is the real.
Well, nothing fancy for me today. I woke up at 6. I had my 2 cups of coffee from my Keurig. I was hoping to go out this afternoon, but didn't make it, so I made an iced coffee. And I've been spilling liquids all day for some reason, so I'm I don't know if I'm over-caffeinated or what, but I'm trying to be cautious around the recording equipment here.
It is nice out, which means it's perfect time for cold brew. And closest to me is the Ancora on Monona Drive. And so I ran through the drive-thru today and got myself a cold brew.
Oh, I love
Nice.
it. We love that. I made coffee from home too, like Rob, and my coffee beans are from Ledger Coffee Roasters, roasted here in Wisconsin, which we love. That's the coffee shop that's located in Garver Feed Mill. And that is one of my new joys, is really like grinding my own coffee beans, feeling like I'm making something fresh for myself in the morning. And this particular bag that I've probably got this the past 3 times. Spread the wealth though. Now they're probably going to be gone if you guys really like it. But hey, the name of it is People's Champ. And I'll show you guys. It's very aesthetically pleasing to me.
Ooh.
I like that.
It's artsy. Yeah. It's got this golden yellow gradient square right in the middle. So yeah, I make my little pour over at home and it ends up in a cup. I'm drinking some right now. My mug says Boys and Girls Clubs of America, but sometimes it's Lord of the Rings Second Breakfast or podcast or our show, CityCast Madison mug, which is a lot of fun. How we get our coffee each day is the point of this conversation. We get our coffee in all different kinds of ways. So let's get into our coffee shop roundup. We're putting this together largely by function and feel. Things that feel good to us and things that work for us in our schedule. So which are the most convenient coffee shops? Which have the best vibes? What places are great for working? And who we think has the best coffee? We'll get into it. But Jade, Rob, big picture, what are you looking for in a good coffee shop?
Well, there are coffee shops where I'm like, I can get a lot of work done there, and that they're high on my list. And there's places where I go and I feel like the barista and I have like a good chit chat and it makes me feel connected to my community. And then there's places that I'm just like, they have the best coffee. Like that tastes the best. I want a treat. I'm going to like go out of my way. And for me personally, I'm almost always drinking black coffee of some kind. So either drip or cold brew.
See, I'm kind of an all of the above where I want the vibes, I want the coffee, I want a place that has big tables for working and also comfy couches in front of a fire for reading. I don't like a coffee shop that's too quiet. Even when I'm working, I need that sort of buzz around me to sort of focus. And I like coffee shops that have good food, especially like a great breakfast sandwich. My go-to is a skim latte, iced in the summer, iced most times of the year, actually, with sugar-free caramel syrup.
Yum.
Yeah.
Rob is the Goldilocks of cafes. It has to be just right. I mean, honestly, I'm the same way. I typically get, if I'm feeling like I'm treating myself, I'm going to get a mocha. I also like golden lattes, so a little bit of turmeric, a little bit of chai spices. But generally speaking, then I'll be like, my budget! And get some black coffee and put a little splash of, I guess actually it's not black coffee because I'm going to put a splash of cream, I'll be honest. I'm trying to work on that acidity in my stomach. All right, are you guys ready to get into the different types of coffee shops?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
First function for me, I'm thinking about places to hang out with folks, places you want to meet up with your friends, spots to socialize. Rob, what's your go-to spot for getting out and socializing at a coffee shop?
For meeting people, it's often been Michelangelo's down on State Street. For one thing, it's very centrally located. Where I'm coming from Fitchburg, somebody's coming from the east side, north side, west side. We know we're all coming together. It's always a vibe to be on State Street. And Michelangelo's, one of the oldest still running coffee shops in the city, is so eclectic and fun and got good coffee and lots of sort of quirky seating areas and stuff. So that's where I like to go.
I love that space.
Yeah.
Honestly, it gives the Friends, not that everyone's watched Friends, the TV show, but if you have, it has a similar vibe and it's very big. And I think I go there and find things that are happening in the community on their community boards.
Yeah.
Like they have a lot going on in there.
There's something about going into that spot in particular that feels like you're taking a step back into time, like the 90s or something.
Right.
My spot, actually, for socializing also feels to me like taking a step back in time, but it's because it has a very similar vibe to the shops that I worked at when I was in high school and college, which is Java Cat. This is over on the east side by Target. They used to be in Monona, which was much closer to me, and I miss that spot, but their new spot's great. They also have gelato and great pastries. But they have such a welcoming space, and there's some outside space when it's nice out. There's an area for kids to be at, and there's just so many different nooks and crannies in their space that it really does well for socializing because you can kind of be, a little more private if you want to go have a little chat or be sort of among other people in the main area.
Yeah, it's really an oasis there on the Far East Side with, the Target's not far away, Easttown Mall's not very far away, and it's like this oasis. I don't know if it actually was an old house at one point, but it sure looks like one. It just feels like with that huge outdoor area as well. It just feels like you're completely removed from the city around you in some ways.
It reminds me of this place by the Merrimack Ferry. It feels like you are kind of outside of town, despite being by a lot of busyness. For me, Jade, you mentioned wanting a little bit of privacy. This is a newer thing for me, but I'm going to say going to Leopold's to socialize. Leopold's Book Bar Cafe is always super busy, so there's no guarantee you're going to get a table. But when you do, or you're willing to wait for one, it's got a great buzz about it. Like people are clearly coming in to connect. They have lattes and coffee drinks as well as wine, as the title shares, Book Bar Cafe. And there's art. Their tables are really close together, but the noise level is high. And I actually want to be in a coffee shop where the noise level is high because I want to talk about my life. And if you're in a quieter place, this is maybe pretty personal to me, but I just don't want to spill all my latest things happening in my life and then, forcing somebody who's studying, for instance, to be listening to that. I did go to Leopold's around New Year's this past year with a friend, and we were talking about things, and the couple of ladies sitting right next to us, shout out to y'all, did lean over and they're like, "Are you Bianca Martin? You sound like Bianca Martin." So there's really no totally safe place for me to spill my secrets. You might hear them every now and then. But Leopold's feels like a place that people come to connect on the human level. And that's A-okay, if not the point.
Yeah, that never happens to me. I'm never typing the newsletter and somebody hears me type it, goes, "Wait, are you the newsletter editor for CityCast Madison?"
I could hear that typing anywhere.
I know that typing anywhere.
Typing
Yeah. That's Friday floof typing I'm hearing. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about coffee shops, coffee houses that have good vibes. And I think for me, Leopold's is pretty up there. There's a lot of art. They might even bring out a DJ every now and then on the weekends. I think Leopold's is peak vibes for me. What about y'all? Coffee shops that have high vibrations?
I agree with Leopold's in a big way because it is also a full bookstore and they have great drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. The other one I would point to is Indie Coffee just down the street on Regent Street, which is another kind of like Michelangelo's walk back in time in some ways, but that's just a really nice space up close. They have live music and a lot of locals. It's standing strong amid a lot of development that's going on right now in Regent Street. And also they have amazing waffles. And waffles equals good vibes in my estimation.
Yes.
My vibes spot is Job Abilities, which is technically in Monona, so I'm a little bit outside of Madison with this one, but they're just so friendly in there. And like, I think it is a spot to go turn your day around, right? You're having a rough day, go get a afternoon pick-me-up, and they're going to be very kind to you.
And they have a lot of great seating. They have every seating option possible. They've got high tops. They've got low tops. It is whatever vibe that you want. And I love that you shouted them out. When the owner, Tim McDonald, came on the show, he talked about how successful they've been. If folks don't know that they have this grander mission, they help support folks with different abilities to get work. And yeah, it's nice to be in such a community spot. I love that you picked that one, Jade.
And they have a drive-through now, which is a relatively new development, as well as they're open on Sundays, which they weren't at first.
All of us mostly work from home, except when we're out in the community talking to folks. And especially you two, I feel like you guys go to coffee shops pretty often. Let's talk about the best places to get some work and studying done. Jade, do you want to start?
Yeah, so I've really been at Collectivo a lot recently. There's 4 spots in town. So there's one on Monroe Street, one on State Street, one around the Capitol Square, and there's a new one on Willie Street, which is the one that I've been going to. And I was there recently working with a friend, and I told them, it feels like this spot has been here forever, even though it's only been open for a few months. So I get a lot of work done there. Vibes are good. There's always tons of people who are also working, which always helps me just be like, okay, if they're working, I can work. One thing that I will flag about this is that sometimes you get logged out of their internet, which isn't like a big deal for me. I think they must have like a time limit on it, but it would be annoying for folks who are using like a VPN.
Yes, there are definitely spots too that the internet just goes out every now and then. It's like, okay, can somebody reset the router? Rob, what about you?
Yeah, mine would be another small local chain, which is Barrique's. They have several around town. Used to go to the one on Park Street before it closed to work, and now the one nearest me is in Fitchburg on Highway PD, and it's a bike ride away, bring your laptop. The inside is usually pretty busy, split about 50-50 between people socializing and people working on laptops or reading or the people who are writing in their notebooks. I always think it was like, oh, this is a cool place if somebody's writing in a notebook. So big tables and, shout out to Deb, the barista, who always greets me by name, which is always a nice way to start. So that's my go-to for working.
Oh, man. Shout out to the Debs. I really like the Barriques on West Wash, mainly because that was just my go-to for studying. So I can attest it is a good place to study. And it's spacious. It's very tall inside that Barriques on West Wash. I'm going to transition to my favorite place for studying, which is Mother Fool's Coffee House. That one is historic for me. I'll share more about that in a moment. But I've tried to play chess in Mother Fool's, and I felt like I was being too loud. So Mother Fool's Coffee House is a fantastic place, a historic place in Madison that also, on a regular basis, I can walk in and no one's talking. Like, it's really, you'll hear the music, you'll hear the buzz of the espresso machine or the different work of the baristas. But other than that, people are reading, people are focusing. And me and my chess partner just kind of laughed and were like, we got to get out of here. We could not finish because people are so focused. Mother Fool's, I also want to share, has this history where before it was Mother Fool's, the Willie Street Co-op in 1973-74 was developed at that location.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's the place I spent the most time at when I didn't live in Madison and I was in high school. I would come here and go visit my sister who was a barista. And if I was to try and sum up the core Madison vibes, I might send someone into Mother Fool's coffee shop so they can get one of the vegan cookies and experience Willie Street weird.
So when you play chess there, would you whisper checkmate to each other? When you...
Kind of like, it was kind of like that. While we're on the topic of work, we can talk about convenient spots to get coffee, starting with mine. I'll say Mocha. It's a chain in Madison, and it's arguable about how convenient it is, considering it is a popular convenience spot. But I frequently would stop at the one on East Washington that you can see a line of cars going out, but they move quickly. And here's the second part of the convenience. I will get a Mocha that's a quad. It's ridiculous. It makes me feel like Parks and Rec, like supersize this food for me. It's much bigger than the size of my head, but it gets the job done for all day. So when I really need a pick-me-up, I'll go to Mocha.
I used to go to that Mocha and get a 32-ounce Jamaican cold brew. And then I'd go to the clay studio that I was a member of, and I would just be like powering through some clay throwing.
Buzzing.
Yeah.
Rob, what about you? Do you have a convenient spot? Shout out.
Well, fitting for its name, Cargo Coffee is a great place that will, get you in and out for a place that's built on travel with maps everywhere on the inside. But both locations on South Park and East Washington Avenue have drive-throughs that move pretty fast. And they have a great selection of both coffee and food. Shout out to the green wrap. Great veggie wrap. So that's kind of my go-to when I don't have time to stop.
Stop and go. It's also spacious in there.
Yes.
It's got vibes. Yeah. Well, let's talk about places where you can get extra spacious that don't even have roofs over them. Part of it. Let's talk about patios, places you can go and sit outside with your coffee. Jade, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. So I'm thinking about Zuzu Cafe, which is right by the zoo. I don't know if they're named Zuzu because they're by the zoo, but that seems correct, right?
I never put that together, but I'm glad that you did, and it would explain a lot.
Yeah, maybe it's a coincidence. But they have a great outdoor location. Like I said, they're right by the zoo, so you sort of get the benefit of all that green space. They've got planters all along the patio. And also, sometimes in the fall and winter, they'll also bring domes, so you can have outdoor space a little bit longer into the season, not just in the warm weather.
I love that having that option right by the zoo. I bet that's very key for families and people visiting our animals, which we love to do here. One of my favorite places to get outside and drink coffee is Lakeside Coffee House, which is off of Monona Bay, just about, and it's right by Bernie's Beach Park. And it's kind of on the inside looks like a lodge even, and it's got big windows. And I like this spot for it having a cute little area outside right next to the tracks where you can sit outside and drink your coffee. You can also take your coffee to go and walk over to Bernie's Beach Park. The inside is really unique and sweet. They do a lot of shows. And I don't know about y'all, but everyone's feeling the 90s nostalgia. This feeling of kind of acoustic coffee house events. I've gone to several of those at Lakeside Coffee, and I want more of that in my life.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but you're right. It is like a lodge, and they've got paddles and stuff on the walls and stuff. It's a really gorgeous spot.
The other thing that, as you were saying this, Bianca, about liking the inside, it's something about the inside there that feels like you're also connected to the outside. They just have such beautiful windows. Depending on where you're sitting, you can see Monona Bay. It's the most outdoors you can be while being indoors,
Nailed it. Thank you. Yeah, you brought that full circle because wait, why am I talking about the inside? But it feels like you should be writing, nature poetry like Aldo Leopold and sitting in there. And you can be very contemplative and looking at the water, which is basically my favorite things to do. I also want to shout out Reverie Baking. They're a coffee house over in Atwood that has a teeny little outdoor space in the back. People might be like, Bianca, what the heck? You're moving from Lakeside Coffee to that little spot. But here's the thing. I didn't know they had a little outdoor area until I was walking past and saw my friend sitting out there. And it kind of reminded me of LA or Chicago, just these different coffee shops that have a little space in the back, but kind of secluded. There's some trees surrounding it. And just in general, I think not everyone knows about Reverie Coffee.
Yeah, I'm always going to coffee shops in that area, and I did not know they existed. So shout out to you for bringing this up and informing me. I have another outdoor spot, which is actually 2 outdoor spots, which is Cafe Domestique. They have locations on Willie Street, just off of Regent, and North Street. But the spots off of Regent and North Street both have really incredible outdoor spaces. I'll say North Street one is they share it with all the other people who vend out of North Street. And there's like a sandbox with toys for kids. There's like benches. I feel like you could put 100 people back there and there would still be space for more people. And then the one on Regent, Rob, I know that you've gone here a couple times.
Yeah, it's I guess Allen Street is the street, but
Yeah.
it's great. And it also has a really nice patio in the back that you don't really see from the front. You really have to kind of go through it and get back there, but it's really nice. And that space becomes a glue wine bar in the evening. So I'm sure in the summer it's great. But I remember like one time I was working, and I usually don't do Zoom meetings if I can help it at a coffee shop. But I was like, I'm not leaving. This is too nice. People will just have to deal with it. So I did the Zoom meeting from the patio.
It's really nice back there, and it feels very Parisian. Like, I've never been to Paris. I don't really know what Parisian means that well, but it feels Parisian.
I get it.
Let's go. It does. And it's doing that transition between Cafe Domestique to the wine bar has that natural vibe. And they do jazz shows there. I like that you called out the Cafe Domestique at North Street because that's also a prime spot to sit outside and see dogs.
Oh, yeah.
It's good dogs. That's good dogs.
That's good dogs in Madison. I have met many wonderful dogs in that area, and they've got great big windows and a lot going on. So I love those shout outs. Should we actually talk about the quality of the coffee? Everywhere we've talked about has tasty coffee, and really so much of what tastes good is subjective. But let's kind of dig into spots that have leveled up on their coffee game and are standouts.
Yeah. Well, I will say, for what it's worth, we just talked about Domestique. I think they're doing incredible coffee. Like, I think that they are really leading the path in some of the coffee that they do. But also, I really like Forward Craft and Coffee on Atwood. They are in a spot that used to be a Barriques, and I don't know why that Barriques wasn't more successful, but I think that what Forward is doing with sort of creative cold brews, really good coffee, and then transitioning into a spot to get, a nice beer in the afternoon is really doing well for them. And again, I said I like to drink mostly black coffee. I'll sort of go out of my comfort zone and get like a fruity pebble flavored cold brew.
Oh my God. Also, we're seeing a trend. Coffee shops into beer. Win, 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 win.
Yeah.
They know they're in Wisconsin, I think. They figured that out. Yeah.
Rob, how about you? Do you have a pick for top coffee taste?
Yeah, and I will confess that I'm not a coffee connoisseur necessarily. The one place that stuck out to me was Rasta Barista, which is in the Black Business Hub on South Park Street. I went there shortly after the building opened to kind of check out what was there and love their coffee, which is Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee that they import. And it was really good. It's a nice little shop. People were super friendly. They've got a nice selection of pastries. And yeah, it's definitely worth stopping by and trying their coffee.
I've been wanting to go through there, so I think this is the push.
Yeah.
You putting them forward. For me, I'm going to bring it back to the mocha. The mystique of a mocha that I seek in the city. I've tried mocha lattes across Madison, and I think my favorite is from Johnson Public House. It's a little unfair, but I also am not a connoisseur of coffee. I'm like medium roast. I don't know. But for my coffee drink that I get and covet, Johnson's Public House and their chocolate syrup just seems to be my favorite. And I think that they have been historically a place to get quality coffee. And heck, I'm just going to shout out the fact that they have a board where you can pin like little sweet notes, including you can pay for someone else's coffee. And I frequently see people saying, oh, like pay this forward for somebody who falls into this category. And just knowing that this is a community space that means a lot to a lot of folks and they're willing to pay it for. It makes me like the taste of that coffee better.
Yeah, I think that there's like all of the shops that we've talked about could fit in many of these categories. But for me, JPH is so vibes. Like it makes me feel so connected to the city. It's a space where I would often run into folks when I would go there often when I lived in the area or worked in the area. And they roast their own beans through kin coffee and doing fantastic stuff in just like a sort of taste of coffee realm.
Yeah, I like those kins.
Me too, like those kins. I used to work at the bottle shop / liquor store right on that corner, Cork and Bottle. And there were many times where I would put a back in 5 minutes sign on the door and run across and get myself a cold brew at JPH. So it's a good corner. We really like that corner.
Yeah, and the owners are lovely. Man, so we talked about our favorite coffees, and let's wrap this conversation with coffee spots that also have good food, that draw us out for their food. Rob, what is your top food coffee shop?
Oh, there's a bunch of them in town. I like Cargo's Coffee. I like that green wrap, like I said. But the one that really sticks out is Finca Coffee, which is just off Rimrock, south of the Beltline. And it's a coffee shop that specializes in Salvadoran coffee and food. And so I've had the most amazing breakfast burrito of my life at Finca Coffee. They also have tacos and pupusas. And it's really fun because it's not what you would expect at a coffee shop. And it works so well. I don't know if it's a place that enough people have discovered because it's really, really good.
I agree with you. Pupusas and coffee, who knew?
You're right.
I will say, if you are sensitive to lactose, bring your Lactaid with you. You don't want to be in a situation where you're like, oh man, I'm not getting this thing with cheese because I don't have my Lactaid. So take your Lactaid with you to Finca. That's my hot tip.
They should have a little bowl by the cash register, I think, of Lactaids. Yeah.
I'll go buy a Costco amount and just put it there for them.
I have never been to Finca Coffee, and the way Jade is aggressively nodding her head like, yes, 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 double down on Finca Coffee. Well, I'll go to my top spot for food that draws me out. And there are a lot of different places. JPH fed me and my soul, and I'll still be hungry for their food. I think my number one is Bradbury's on the Capitol. They have great coffee, but the food, they're known for their crepes or crepes, which it's like a French pancake, basically. And you can put all kinds of savory treats and all kinds of sweets in it. And this is my dedication to them. They have not updated their website. I already told him this, and he understands. But they're so popular, they don't even need to. But their website used to say what their crepe or crepe of the day was. They don't even update it anymore. I will drive 20 minutes to find out and roll the dice on them having a special that I want. They source locally. They do interesting combinations with vegetables and cheeses and meats. And I forever love their honey and maple syrup sweet crepes.
I have a favorite food spot, which actually they have 4 locations. So does that mean I have 4 favorite food spots? I'm talking about Ancora, which has 4 locations, downtown on King Street, off Sherman, off University, and on Monona Drive. And truly, they have this avocado toast that if they took it off the menu, I'm not sure what I would do. Like, I think I would spend a lot of time trying to recreate it. At this point, it's so accessible to me that I have not tried to recreate it, but it has like shaved maple Brussels sprouts on top of it. It's incredible. And I would say the thing with Ancora is I really think that they're right on the edge of like, is this a restaurant? Is this a coffee shop? Because their coffee is as good as their food and their food is as good as their coffee. So really sort of threading the needle there. I
agree. I got a honey bacon biscuit there last week at the one on University, and it was a 2 meal. I took half of it home with the breakfast potatoes. So it's a full service restaurant and a coffee shop in one.
And I remember when it was just downtown. This is a local business and they've grown and found success, which is really fun to see.
They've got a secret sauce there, I think.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, and it's very likely that we may have missed your favorite coffee shop. You might be cursing the sky, or your fists are in the sky and you're cursing, how could they miss my spot? Or you totally agree and have different reasons. We will continue these conversations about coffee shops. This is just one of our dives in. So please feel free to leave a comment on the podcast if you're listening on Spotify or YouTube. You can always email us or DM us on Instagram. We read those. We appreciate them. And we appreciate all the folks and our baristas serving up great coffee in Madison and taking care of us and trying to be thoughtful. This has been a lot of fun. Jade and Rob, thank you so much.
Tip your baristas.
That's right. Thank you, Bianca.
That's all for today here on CityCast Madison. I'm your host, Bianca Martin. Don't forget, you can support the show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Madison neighbor at membership.citycast.fm/Madison. And if you enjoyed today's show, why not share this episode with someone you know that you want to buy a cup of joe for? All right, help spread the word about CityCast Madison. Go grab your coffees, get in community, and we will be back tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until then, take good care, caffeinate responsibly, and thanks for listening.